this realistically, this is probably Brady's worst year as far as who he has around him. He doesn't, you know what I'm saying? He doesn't have the weapons anymore, and it makes it a lot harder on him.
Should have kept Antonio.
They should have, and they would have saved my fantasy season. I would have probably.
I think that's the only reason why you say that. Then
I would have been $200 richer, actually.
You only want them to keep him for your own benefit.
No, I mean he deserves to be in the league.
Skill wise, he does, but with his mouth, do you think so? Jesus Christ.
That's your mom.
It's Rashad. With his mouth, I don't think he deserves it, obviously.
I think he's almost talked his way out of the league for good.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like, that's obviously skill wise, he's arguably the best wide receiver in the league. But I just think he's talked himself out of a job. There's no job you can tell me right now that if somebody was talking that recklessly that they deserve a job in that place.
I did see the reports though. They said every playoff team
wants him
except the Patriots. And I mean,
the Chiefs can't get him.
Why?
Please don't.
That would be ridiculous.
Jesus Christ.
That would actually be ridiculous. But
what if the Saints got him?
Nah, the Saints can't have him. They have the best wide receiver already.
I would like to see him with Russell Wilson though. Honestly.
They need him.
Because that's who.
Now that Josh Gordon just got suspended,
and I feel so bad for him.
Suspended for
I don't
what?
feel bad for him, but
suspended for what?
PEDs this time. But it's just like you got to think. As far as addiction goes, he may have stopped using weed, but he's a fiend. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna find something, and I don't feel bad for him because this is like the 4th time, but I do just like feel bad just for him as a person because it's an addiction thing, and that shit's hard to shake. You know what I'm saying? So
it's only hard to shake if you make it hard to shake. I used to be addicted. I'm not anymore. It didn't take me going to counseling. It didn't take all the money in the world to try to find help for it. Literally, if you know you need to stop doing something and you truly feel that in your head that you know you need to stop, not just, I feel like I should stop. You know you need to, you will for the people around you.
I feel
it's easier said than done, but obviously you can tell he is a severe case.
It's just like Antonio Brown said. Like, even though he said it in a different way, it's different strokes for different folks. I mean, there's
a reason he can't stop.
I mean, I feel all that, but what it narrows down to is people abuse drugs to be able to escape the reality that they're in. And I get that you don't want to feel the pains that you do while you're sober. But at the end of the day, especially as a grown man or a grown person in this world, period, you have to realize that those drugs are only going to make you not feel that pain anymore for those little couple hours of that high. It doesn't make the pain actually go away. And at the end of the day, once you're done with your high, you're right back in the same spot feeling that pain again. It's much better for you and the people around you, and it is much safer and healthier for you to at least try to solve those problems. Even if you're still getting high every day or every now and then and stuff like that, at least still try to get those problems solved. That way you don't feel like you need the drugs to solve the problem. Because at the end of the day, once you get sober, once you wake up the next morning, guess what? You're still in those pool of problems, and all you're going to do is get high again and try to make them disappear. At least try to fix them while you're high, at the very, very least.
And I just think when you think about it like this dude was probably going to be the best receiver in the league.
Josh Gordon?
Yeah, because
that's true. Back
you
in
know
the
what I'm
Browns.
saying? There's so much money he's left on the table. I'm sure if it was just so easy for him to shake it, he would.
Yeah.
I mean, this dude is probably.
And that's why I'm saying
this is
I think it's a lot deeper than.
I mean, he's probably been through definitely a lot.
And also, we've all played sports. When you've played, bro, you're like your body's aching, and I don't think players are given enough extra things that they can use to get through that pain. I played soccer 3 days in a row this week. When I tell you, the 3rd day I was physically done. I can't imagine playing a whole actual NFL level football game, and
especially once a week. Especially once a week
with the best players in the world.
And somebody wants to smoke after that. They can't get that pain off of them, so they take painkillers because. So I don't.
I agree with the use of weed, not the abuse of it, but the use of it. I agree with.
But the use of it is already illegal, you know.
But I mean, there's been people that come out 50% of NFL players smoke it. You just got to know the right people and do the right thing with it.
That's why I'll let you say. The reason why a lot of people don't get caught is because a lot of them are told, "Hey, you're about to get a drug test, in advance." So how are you still getting caught? What are you about to say?
I was just gonna say, Calvin Johnson was talking about how he was smoking like every day. We're not
Yeah.
calling him an addict, or we're not. He doesn't get it near. He doesn't get any flack for it. But this dude,
just don't get caught.
like I said, it's like just don't get caught.
Just don't get caught. Don't mess up your own money. That was what Stephen
What
A. said.
I watched a podcast. It was like a couple NFL linemen and stuff like that. Just mainly like the big people, because obviously they take the biggest hits. Because every play they're getting hit by another 300+ pound man. And basically what they said was it's really simple to keep up with the NFL as far as drug tests, because there's always 1 or 2 specific months within the whole season that they do it in. So 2 months before that specific month, you stop. And then once those months go by, if you got drug tested, cool. If you didn't, whatever, and you start it again. So, I mean, it seems like to me that the NFL has made it much easier than sports like the NBA to get away with smoking weed. But, I mean, if you're doing it 24/7 around people that's not trustable and stuff like that, in any situation, like, of course you're going to get caught.
Well, what I was gonna say, because that's true. They do. It's like the same 2 months every year or something like that. But they also do random drug tests to people who have performed,
abnormally, yeah.
And like I said, this dude had like 65 catches and like 1,600 yards or something crazy like that. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get a random drug test, and like they came out with a report. He said he was making like $10K a month at Baylor selling drugs. You know what I'm saying?
Which is good money. That's amazing.
That's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? And this is obviously something that's troubled him his whole life.
You're a product of your environment.
This didn't start in.
He probably started smoking when he was a kid.
It didn't start.
It's something that's been plaguing him for a while.
He clearly started smoking when his brain wasn't fully developed, and it got to a point where his brain felt like he needed the weed. I'm pretty sure a product of his environment. If he was selling weed at Baylor, he was probably smoking since before he was a teenager. Exactly. And in any situation where you have a kid who's smoking and doing things to alter their mind when their mind doesn't even know what their mind is yet, and that kid grows up on that, then I could definitely I could definitely see where a bigger addiction than what I had or what a lot of other people had or have knocked out, where that could come to play, because I didn't start smoking until I graduated high school, because middle school, high school, I felt like weed was a bad thing and blah, blah, blah. And I mean, it's not necessarily a good thing. It does have its good benefits, but any type of smoking that you're making going into your lungs that's not supposed to be there isn't good for you. So it won't kill you. It won't do anything of the bad advertisements that you see, but it isn't good for you. It just has good benefits, but everything has pros and cons. But when you're altering your mind, when your mind is still trying to figure out what the heck the world is, then I could definitely see where the stronger addiction would come from.
Yeah, I mean, we pretty much said all we need to say on that one.